Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about 2 reasons why your triceps have stopped growing. But before we start this video, if you haven't signed up yet for my Shredded 12-Week Transformation Challenge, make sure you click that link down in the description box below. So, triceps. Why is it important to make sure that your triceps are always growing? Well, that's because they make up 2/3 of your arm, and if you want to look like you have big arms from any angle, you got to really make sure that you're hitting them hard and developing that horseshoe that goes all the way around. And if you're not hitting it properly or switching up your workouts, you're going to find yourself hitting a barrier and your triceps are going to stop growing. So, with that being said, let's go over the top 2 reasons why your triceps have stopped growing. Mistake number 1 is that you're only doing exercises that require using both hands at the same time. And what I mean by this is you're only doing exercises in your workout that require a barbell or an easy curl bar or any kind of attachment where both hands are applied to the same weight at the same time. Now, obviously, it's okay to do these exercises and you should incorporate them into your routine, but there's a few things that can happen if you never switch it out for exercises where you're working your arms independently of each other. Number 1, it is possible that your dominant side can take over on these exercises. So even if the bar's going up straight and you're doing a close grip bench press, it's still possible that the right side's working a bit more than the left side. Now, the other thing is, whenever you introduce like dumbbells or exercises where both arms are working independently of each other, you're creating more instability with that movement. And whenever there's more instability with a movement, what you're doing is you're forcing your body to make your stabilizer muscles work harder, and you're forcing your body to activate more muscle tissue in order to control the weight throughout the movement. Think about if you were to do like a barbell bench press versus a dumbbell bench press. It's a lot harder doing the dumbbells. You probably can't lift as much because there's more instability in that movement. And another thing to mention with that exercise is the barbell can even be restricting at some points where as soon as the bar touches your chest, that's as far down as you can go. But if you were to do dumbbells, you get a much bigger range of motion, well, not much bigger, maybe a few inches, because you can go all the way down past your chest and all the way up. And whenever you're creating more range of motion, there's obviously more time under tension where you can work that muscle, so that's a good thing to keep in mind as well. So now what I want to do is give you guys 3 exercises to switch up that you probably have in your current routine just to make sure you're training your triceps as hard as possible to ensure maximum growth. The first exercise is the close grip bench press. Now this is actually a staple in my tricep workout as well, so I know it's probably one in yours too. Now for this exercise, obviously it's a great exercise for building muscle and strength, but if you want to switch things up, I want you guys to try to do a reverse dumbbell press. Now the way the reverse dumbbell press goes is very similar. It's the same range of motion, but you're going to have your palms facing in towards your face, and you also want to make sure that as you bring those dumbbells down, they're coming down over your torso, and you're also pressing them up over your torso. If you feel like you're starting to press the dumbbells up over your chest, it's probably because they're too heavy and you can't get the range of motion down properly. So make sure you use a moderate amount of weight. If you've never done the exercise before, I suggest starting off light, but above all else, make sure that as you go down, you control the weight and you feel those triceps contract on the way up. The next exercise I want you guys to try switching out of your workout is the skull crusher. Now, I love the skull crusher. It's one of my favorite tricep exercises, but to be honest with you, even since I started switching up my workouts to replace the easy curl bar skull crusher with dumbbell skull crushers, I've actually noticed a lot more tricep engagement. The dumbbell skull crusher creates way more instability with the exercise, and you have to focus super hard to be able to keep your elbows in one place as you bring the dumbbells down and go back forward. And what I mean by that is a lot of people have the habit of when they do the exercise that as they bring the dumbbells down, the elbow travels forward like this and then comes back up. I want you guys to stay nice and tight and keep your arms like this and literally don't let your elbows move as you bring the dumbbells up and down. And if you can do that, you're going to find yourself in a whole new world of pain, but it's a pain that leads to gains. So it's the one you want to go after. So make sure you try that one out as well. And the third exercise I want you guys to swap out is if you're currently doing a seated overhead dumbbell tricep extension also known as a power bomb. Really great exercise for targeting the triceps and building muscle. But if you're currently doing this movement, I want you to switch to a single arm seated overhead dumbbell tricep extension. Now, at first glance, it might not look like a huge difference, but something you'll quickly notice, you're going to have to use a lot lighter weight to be able to do the same range of motion, and you're also going to notice a bit more activation through your shoulder because, like I said, whenever you use a dumbbell and you're using just one arm at a time, you're creating more instability. So those muscles are going to have to work much harder to control that dumbbell throughout that range of motion as you keep your elbow locked in one place. And like I say, with every single exercise, it comes down to full range of motion and form. So make sure you're able to go all the way down with this movement and then get a full extension at the top. And throughout the entire range of motion, you should be focusing on trying to contract your tricep as hard as possible for the most amount of muscle activation. So make sure you give that one a shot as well. And the second mistake that could be holding you back from making more tricep gains is that you're not changing up your frequency or intensity. And what I mean by that is, for those of you guys who are only training your triceps once a week, you're missing out on more growth periods because you're waiting a full 7 days before you target your triceps again. So if that sounds like you, try to hit your arms twice a week with at least 2 days in between. Now, another way, like I said, you can change things up is by increasing the intensity. And you can do that by doing several different things. Number one, you guys can be adding more weights to your sets. Grab a spotter if you need to. Number two, shorten your rest periods. Maybe you're resting 2 minutes, try cutting it down to 60. And if you want to get real crazy, try cutting it down to 30. Now, obviously, as you shorten your rest periods, you will have to lighten the weight, but the weight doesn't matter. What matters is shocking the muscle. Another way you could do this too is by adding supersets to your workouts. And another really great way to add more intensity to your lifts is by doing isometric holds on the last rep of every set in your tricep workout. So for example, let's say you were doing the close grip dumbbell bench press and you're doing 10 repetitions. As soon as you finish all 10 repetitions, when you go on that last one all the way down, hold it in that down position for as long as you can. Having to do the iso hold is going to force your body to recruit and make more muscle fibers contract than you probably ever felt before. Hold it for as long as you can, probably like 10 to 12 seconds, and then try to press it back up. 50% of the time, you're probably going to fail, but that's okay because you've already done the damage throughout the entire set and during the iso hold. So I hope these tips help you guys out with changing up your workouts in general. You can apply a lot of these tips to obviously a lot of other body parts that you're training throughout the week. And like I said in the beginning of the video, if you guys haven't signed up yet for my 12-week transformation challenge, click that link down in the description box below. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. If you guys want some tips on making your biceps bigger, I'll post a link to my video on that one as well. Hope you guys are having a great week. Train hard, and as always, more good stuff coming soon. See you guys.